Yo, what's up with y'all boys and girls, man? Hey, it's Jay Briggs here, continuing to cook up this NBA action. Y'all know what we do here on the Jam Session. We cook up every single game, every single day, man. If you appreciate the content, smash that like button for your guy, man. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. The theme for this week, man, is going to be bounce back week. Last week was not our best week, man. We call a spade here on the Jam Session. We were on the wrong side of a lot of second half comebacks. Hell, we were on one last night. The play of the day yesterday was San Antonio Spurs money line plus 145. What did they have? Like a 26-point lead at one point in that game? Lost in OT. That was the story of our week, man. We ain't gonna let it rattle us though. It's an 82-game season, and all that means is we got a humongous run coming up on the horizon. Hey, let's start that run off tonight. We got a huge card, 11 games. Y'all know I'm finna cook up side for y'all right here, right now. So again, smash that like button for your guy. If you're rocking with me, rock with me. I got premium plays over at the site. I'm also active on Twitter all day. Link for that in the description as well. Let's make some money tonight, man. Bounce back week. Without further ado, let's hop right into tonight's NBA action. All right, first game of the night, we got the Golden State Warriors out on the road facing the Detroit Pistons. Pistons 6.5-point dogs at the crib. I like the Pistons in this spot. I will grab it with them. I don't want to lay 6.5 points with the Warriors out on the road in this terrible spot they're in. This is going to be the Warriors' 5th road game in their last 6 games. It's not a great spot. They also are on a back end of a back-to-back as they played yesterday. Fell short, did not get it done. We saw them lose on the road yesterday. I just don't think it's that great of a spot for the Golden State Warriors. Remember, they were terrible last year on the road, so they did start this year out on the road off with some emphasis, but I think that old team is starting to creep through. We saw Draymond get hurt yesterday. I just don't think it's that great of a spot to be trying to lay 6.5 with the Golden State Warriors. I think they are definitely the better team here, but the Pistons, we're going to make money on them in spots, and I think tonight is one of those spots. I think they can keep this one pretty competitive throughout the game, keeping within the number. I'm going to take the Pistons plus the points here to start our day. Next game up, man, we got the San Antonio Spurs out on the road facing the Indiana Pacers. Pacers nice home favorites in this one, laying 7.5 at the crib, and I do understand why the line is where it's at. This is a terrible spot for the San Antonio Spurs. This is going to be their 4th road game in their last 5 games. They're also on a back end of a back-to-back with travel. They played at home yesterday against the Toronto Raptors. They were our play of the day yesterday. Had a sizable lead in the first half. I'm talking about a really sizable lead, like 20 plus. And just how this week has gone, man, we saw that lead wither away. They got dead legs there in that second half. A team like Toronto, a hustle-type team, was able to beat them to loose balls, crawl their way back in the game, and steal it in overtime. So I think this is a terrible spot for them. You know, like I said, we saw their legs dead yesterday in that second half in OT. Now they're on a back end of a back-to-back with travel going up against a rested Indiana Pacers team that loves to run and gun, coming off a pretty bad loss in their own right. I think this is a great bounce-back spot for the Indiana Pacers. I think it's a terrible spot for the San Antonio Spurs. I'm taking Indiana here. Short, sweet, simple. I think they run and gun these boys right out the gym. Next game up, man, we got the Washington Wizards out on the road facing the Philadelphia 76ers. Sixers laying 11.5 at the crib. Sixers undefeated against the number, man. 5-0 ATS, 4-1 straight up. They did lose their first game of the season. Since then, they've been hooping. And here, I'm taking the Sixers. I'm not going to overcomplicate this one. I think it's a bad spot for the Wizards as well. It's their 3rd straight road game. They were dominated by the Hawks and Miami out there. If those two teams can dominate you, Philadelphia, one of the best favorites, can as well. So, short, sweet, simple. I'm not overcomplicating this one. I don't even think that the Wizards match up that well with the Sixers. Who's going to stop Embiid down low? Nobody. I expect him to have a nice game. I see Tyrese Maxey cooking Jordan Poole on the wing. Jordan Poole going to be going right back at him, but I don't think they have enough in this one to keep this one within the number. I just don't think it happens. I think Embiid has a monster game, triple-double type game against a bad team. I'm taking the Sixers, not overcomplicating this one. They should win this game by like 15 plus. Next game up, man, we got my favorite team, the Dallas Mavericks, out on the road facing the Orlando Magic. Magic home favorites in this one, laying 1.5 points. I understand why the line is where it's at. You got to look at it for what it is. The Magic, they're 4-2. They're hooping this year. I told you guys they would hoop this year, and they're also 5-1 against the number. And it's not that great of a spot for the Dallas Mavericks. They just played last night, failed to cover at home. Now they have to travel in a back-to-back spot to go face a solid Magic team on the road. So I understand why the line is where it's at. In my opinion, though, it's still disrespectful. I think the Magic are an up-and-coming team. I think they make the postseason this year. I'm high on the Magic, more so than most. But they're not better than the Dallas Mavericks. Stop it. They're not. And I know it's not the greatest spot for the Mavs, but getting them here at plus money, sign me up. I know the Magic have hoop at home. We just saw them beat up on the Lake Show at home. But I think the Mavs create some serious matchup problems for the Orlando Magic. Hey, when you have a top 3 player in the world, you have a chance to win every single game you play. And I think the Mavs are just straight up the better team. I know the Mavs didn't cover as a huge home favorite last night, but they did get the dub. The Hornets have been a thorn in their side for quite some time. This one, I think they go on the road and they just beat a team that they're better than. I think it's going to be a good game. I understand why the line is Orlando Magic. The Magic have been a moneymaker for us thus far this season. But tonight, I think they just lose to a better team in the Dallas Mavericks. I think the Mavs actually match up really well with these boys. And I'm here to tell you guys what I think, how I see the game. I'm not here to appease to the masses. If you guys want to fade the Mavs, fade the Mavs. Me personally, I think they go down here to Orlando and beat these boys tonight. That's how I see it. Next game up, man, we got the Milwaukee Bucks out on the road facing the Brooklyn Nets. Nets getting 5.5 as home dogs in this one. Short, sweet, simple in this one as well. I'm grabbing the points with the Brooklyn Nets. I will not lay points with the bad defense like the Milwaukee Bucks have been. The Milwaukee Bucks have been arguably the worst defense in the NBA thus far. They just can't lock anybody up. And most of that is due to their wing defending. Damian Lillard, people are not afraid to go right at him. He is not a defensive guard. He's an offensive guard. You know, a lot of the problems that the Milwaukee Bucks had were kind of shaded by how good Jrue Holiday is. He's one of the most underrated players in the league. What he does defensively doesn't always show up in glaring box scoring stats, but if you know what you're looking for, it definitely shows up. And I'm trying to tell you, it shows up with how much points the Milwaukee Bucks are giving up nightly. And I just can't lay points with the team that does that. On the other side, we got the Brooklyn Nets, a team that is yet to not cover a point spread. They've had a couple games where they've been like right on the number. Depending on what number you got against Boston, you know, you either won or lost. I lost. I had 9.5, but the closing number was 10, so that's why it's a push right here. Short, sweet, simple, though. I'm not laying points with a bad defense like Milwaukee. I think the Nets can do enough scoring to keep this one within the number, if not win it outright. We have yet to see Milwaukee put it all the way together. I've yet to see that, and until I see that, I don't want to bet them. At the end of the season, they're going to be right there in the mix of things. I really believe that. They have the talent to be one of the best teams in the NBA. Still early. They still got to figure it out. Main thing being defense, and I can't lay points with the team that don't play defense. Give me the Nets plus the points. Here it is. Next game up, we got the Lake Show out on the road facing the Miami Heat. Heat, home favorites, laying 1.5 here in this one. Short, sweet, simple in this one as well. Y'all know what happens when we see Miami at home. We intend to fade them. It's a short number. And this should be a really good game between two teams that went fairly deep in the postseason last year. Two teams that really aren't playing as good as they were at the end of last year to begin this season. So I'm interested to see how this game plays out. Not one of my favorite games on the board, but if I were to play this one, I would take the Lake Show. The reason I say that, you know I love fading Miami at home. I'm just not getting enough points with the Lakers. And what have we seen with Miami? They love getting up for the big games. That's the games Miami loves playing. I ain't mad at them for it. When they're playing the smaller teams, the Detroits, the Charlottes, the Orlandos, the Jazz, when the Heat are playing those type teams at home, that's when we will make a ton of money this season. When they're playing good teams at home, they're going to compete. I think the line's right where it should be. Miami laying 1.5. They are the home team. The Lakers, we have seen them struggle on the road a bit. We just saw them get their doors blown off by Orlando on the road in their last one. But I firmly believe in my heart this is a bounce-back spot. LeBron back in South Beach, a place, where A lot of memories for him. I see Anthony Davis eating out of Bio's lunch in this one. I see LeBron having a nice game. I see Jimmy frustrated after the game. I see the Lakers winning it. I would lean in their direction here in this one. Next game up, man, we got the Los Angeles Clippers out on the road facing the New York Knicks. Knicks home dogs getting a point and a half in this one. I believe this is the James Harden debut game. And with that being said, purely on that alone, I'm fading the Clippers. Hey, I'm not high on this Westbrook, Harden, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, Zubac thing they got going on. I'm not. There's only one basketball. I don't think it's enough to go around. Theoretically, on paper, it looks really good. It looks really good, but it still has to play out on the floor. And first night out on the road in the Garden, going up against a good defensive style team. You know, Tom Thibodeau, defensive coach. I just don't see it happening night one. I think this line is really funky here at 1.5. I think a lot of people are going to be jumping on the Clippers here, thinking that they're just going to come out here and show out game one. And they very well could. I could be very wrong. They very well could, but I don't see it happening. I'm taking the Knicks here, plus the 1.5, or straight up money line. I don't know if there's value in the money line right now. You might as well just grab a 1.5 in your back pocket. But the one other time we've seen the Clippers out on the road, they lost to a Jazz team 120 to 118. They technically have 2 road games. The other one was against the Lakers. They lost that game, but it was in Staples where they currently play, so that's technically not a road game. So I'm not going to, look too much into that. What I am going to do is take the Knicks here, though. Short, sweet, simple. I look to fade the Clippers until I see it look good. That's my thoughts. I could be very wrong on this Clippers team, but I don't think so. There's one basketball, not enough defense. We'll see. A lot of ego as well. Next game up, man, we got the Utah Jazz out on the road facing your Chicago Bulls. Bulls laying 3.5 at the crib. I think fading the Bulls is going to continue to be the gift that keeps on giving. You see it on your screen, 1-6 against the number. They just played 4 of the last 5 out on the road. This looks like another spot to fade the Bulls. I will say, the Jazz out on the road this season have not been the Jazz from last year out on the road. The Jazz last season out on the road were the second most profitable ATS road team in the league. Thus far this season, they have yet to cover on the road. They got their doors blown off by Phoenix. Denver beat up on them. And then Minnesota just took them boys behind the woodshed, 123-95. So the Jazz have yet to hoop out on the road. But I am taking them here again. I think fading the Bulls is going to be the gift that keeps on giving. I have not liked what I've seen from Chicago. I've watched the extended amount of Chicago games because I've been fading these boys. And every game I'm just sitting there shaking my head like the Bulls are terrible. And there's a real chance they lose this game outright to the Jazz, a Jazz team who's struggling in their own right, but I'm getting points. I'd rather have that or the plus money. Give me the Utah Jazz, plus a 3.5, or straight up money line. Pure fade of the Bulls. We're going to continue to fade the Bulls until they wake up and show us something. All right. In our next matchup, man, we got the Sacramento Kings out on the road facing the Houston Rockets. Rockets home favorites laying 1.5. We just saw this game the other night. The Rockets blew the doors off of Sacramento, 107-89. The Kings, they're just not the same right now. Fox is not in there, and he's kind of like a baby Tyrese Halliburton. I told you guys about that last time. The thing is the Kings were the most profitable ATS road team last year. They did a lot of hooping on the road last year. Actually, they did their best hooping last season out on the road. But they also were fortunate to be the healthiest team of all 30 last season as well. So it's a catch-22 type situation. They're banged up right now, missing their best player, their engine, their motor. And, we just saw them get beat on by this same Houston Rockets team. Not my favorite game tonight, guys, but I really, really, really would want to take the Sacramento Kings in this one. I know that the Rockets are playing well. They just won back-to-back home games. It sets up to be a third against a team they just smashed. But I don't know. I don't see it that way. I think the Kings come out here and compete tonight. I still think the Kings are the better team. I know they're missing their engine and their motor, and that sucks. He's the guy that sets it up. He's the guy that gets it going. But I still think they have enough second-tier players to keep this game competitive. I really think Sacramento wins this game in the end. Not my favorite game tonight. I know they just got smashed by the same Rockets team. The Rockets have started to play well. But my gut, I'm rolling with the Sacramento Kings here in this. All right, next game up, we got the Boston Celtics out on the road facing the Minnesota Timberwolves, aka the House of Disappointment. It's an interesting game. Of course, the Celtics are the only undefeated team left. They've been hooping to begin the season 5-0. The Minnesota Timberwolves 3-2. We've seen really good games. We've also seen some head scratchers in typical House of Disappointment fashion. The thing here is the Timberwolves have played 3 games at home, and all 3 games at home they've won by double digits. So they're right here in the warehouse where they have played well. One of those wins includes a double-digit win over the defending champs, the best team I still think in the NBA currently, the Denver Chicken Nuggets. Man, they beat them boys 110-89. Also smacked up the Utah Jazz 123-95 and beat up on the Miami Heat 106-90. The thing is, I think the second best team in the NBA is the Boston Celtics. I actually think the Celtics match up really well with the Minnesota Timberwolves, and these are the spots where the Timberwolves usually let a lot of folk down. I know a lot of people are going to try to catch this knife here with the Timberwolves at the crib, seeing that they have played well at home, seeing those type things. But me personally, I'm taking the team that I think is just straight up better in the Celtics, a team who I still think has some negative connotations around. This is a team that I really have enjoyed watching this season. Tatum, Porzingis, Brown, Holiday. Hey, I got this team coming out of the East, and I think they're going to push whoever is coming out of the West for that title this year. I really do. I'm taking the Celtics. They're my favorite to win it all. I still think they're right now currently playing the best basketball in the NBA. I'm not touching the T-Wolves. They're on the do not bet list for a reason. Short, sweet, simple. I'm taking the Celtics, the better team. Laying the points in this one. Next game up, man, we got the Atlanta Hawks out on the road facing one of our favorite money-making teams, the Oklahoma City Thunder Buddies. They're getting 3.5 here as home dogs. Sign me up, man. I'm taking the Thunder plus the points in this one. The Hawks are playing well. We got to give them credit where credit is due. They smacked up the Milwaukee Bucks 127-110, beat up on the Minnesota Timberwolves 127-113, won comfortably over the Washington Wizards, and then took the Pelicans behind the woodshed 123-105. I think this is the game they return to reality, though. I do. I think that the Thunder Buddies are a way better defensive team than all those teams that they just played. And I think that's where the key to this game is. I actually like the Thunder plus the 3.5 and straight up money line in this one. And I'm well aware Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is not playing here. But I like what I saw from the Thunder in their last game going up against the Golden State Warriors. They fell short in the end, but did keep it competitive. 141-139 was a loss in that one, and they lost the game before that to the Pelicans as well, 110-106. See this as a bounce back spot for the Thunder Buddies. I think they match up really well defensively with the Hawks. I think they create some problems for these boys. Hey, y'all know me, I'm a plus money junkie. I can't talk none of you off trying to take the Thunder straight up money line. I think it's a solid place to be. Can't trust the Hawks, man. It's the 5th straight home game as well for the Thunder. Pretty comfortable right now at the crib. I think they bounce back and get a win. I'm going to take them plus the points and straight up on the money line here in this one. In our last and final matchup of the night, man, we got the Pelicans out on the road facing the Denver Chicken Nuggets. Short, sweet, simple. What do the Nuggets do at the crib? They go stupid, dummy, crazy. They reiterated that point to me the other night, smashing my Mavs there in the in-season tournament group play. And I think they smashed the Pelicans here as well. I'm not overcomplicating this one, man. We know it. We've been saying it for years. They invented it. Stupid, dummy, crazy at the crib are the Denver Chicken Nuggets. And we know what's up with the Pelicans. The Pelicans, when Ingram, Zion, and McCollum are all not on the floor together, the team's just not as good. When they're all playing, they're one of the best teams in the West, but it's very rare that they're all 3 playing. McCollum is now out for a good amount of time. I saw that he had a lacerated lung, I believe. I don't even know how that happened, but he's going to be out for a while. Just sets up for another spot where the Nuggets go crazy at the crib. Not overcomplicating it. Last game of the night, we're going to lay it with Denver in that 9 o'clock window. Hey, we know what happens here. They go stupid, dummy, crazy. And that's going to conclude this episode of my NBA Jam session. As always, I appreciate every last one of you guys watching this video. Smash that like button for your guy, man. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If you're rocking with me, rock with me, man. I'm active on Twitter all day. Link for that in the description. I got premium plays over at the site. Link for that in the description. And as I talked to you guys about last week, man, I got my all access club. It's called Jay's Full Court Press. You get all my games rated. You can ask me my opinion on any game that I may not have talked about, total, side, anything like that. It's for the bigger bettors out there, the guys that have asked for that next level of premium service. If that's for you, it's for you. It's for the guys betting 1,000, 2,500, 5K a game. It's not for everybody. If it's not for you, continue to watch the jam session. Continue to buy the premium plays. Hey, that's what those items are for. This is for the guys that have asked for this next level of premium service. If it's for you, 775-636-7674. Text the number. We'll set up a time to talk, and we'll see if the package is for you. Wasn't our best week last week, man. We're going to call a spade a spade. It was not our best week, but hey, I'm ready to bounce back this week. I promise you guys I'm locked and loaded. Let's make some money tonight on a Monday. Let's start the week off with a bang. It's been your guy, Jay Briggs. I appreciate every last one of you guys. Let's make some money today. I'm out of here. Peace.